Good evening, everyone. You're welcome to Senior 2 Biology, and the topic is nutrition. Members, what is nutrition? I'm very sure you must have come across this topic or this word. People talking about nutrition. What do we understand by the term nutrition? Well, nutrition refers to the process by which living organisms obtain, consume, and use food substances to maintain their life processes. Yes, the process by which living organisms obtain, consume, and use food substances to maintain their life processes is called nutrition. And these life processes include respiration. We know about growth, yes, or repair of body tissues. You hear a process in plants called photosynthesis. Members, those are life processes. And those life processes that take place in bodies of living organisms are called metabolic processes. Yes, so nutrition enables to provide nutrients that are necessary for metabolic processes to occur. So these food substances are called nutrients, and these nutrients in green plants may include water, mineral salts, carbon dioxide, and others. And then for the animals, they may include carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, vitamins, mineral ions, and then others. These nutrients are used to facilitate the body processes we mentioned earlier. Yes, so the nutrients are very important because they enable the continuous functioning of our bodies to take place. Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, when you look at nutrition, members, you realize that there are modes of nutrition. I don't know whether any one of you knows the modes of nutrition that we have. Well, we have two major modes of nutrition. We have heterotrophic nutrition. From the word to the Greek word is hetero, meaning different. Hetero, different. And then trophikos, meaning nourishment or feeding. It simply means feeding on other organisms or feeding on other different organisms. Heterotrophic, it simply means organism feeds on another organism or feeds on tissues from other organisms. For example, man eating maize, chicken eating grasshoppers, or bacteria feasting on dead decaying matter. For example, dead decaying frog or meat. That one is called heterotrophic nutrition, where one organism feeds on tissues from another organism or feeds on the whole organism. And then we have the other mode of nutrition, and that one is called autotrophic nutrition. From the Greek words auto and trophikos. Auto meaning self. You've heard of automatic vehicles, automotives. Those are self. You've heard of self-drive cars. Automatic. So auto meaning self, and trophic meaning feeding or nourishment. So it simply means self-feeding, ability to make own food. So you've probably heard about plants able to make their own food, so they belong to this kind of nutrition. They perform autotrophic nutrition. So members, we have two modes of nutrition. We have heterotrophic nutrition And then we have autotrophic nutrition. So we want to expound a little bit more about autotrophic nutrition, and want to say that this is a mode of nutrition whereby an organism is able to synthesize its own food from inorganic nutrients using some external source of energy. So these organisms are able to make their own food, but using energy from the environment, either from light energy, or from chemical processes, what we call chemical energy. Organisms that perform autotrophic nutrition are called autotrophs. Autotrophs perform autotrophic nutrition. Now, since the nutrition of all other organisms depends either directly or indirectly on these autotrophs, they are referred to as producers. So members, the organisms that make their own food, provide nourishment to other organisms. So we call them producers because it is from them that other organisms obtain nourishment. So they are the producers. Autotrophic nutrition can also be divided into two depending on external source of energy. We are going to see shortly that there are two major forms of autotrophic nutrition, and they are divided based on the source of energy. We have the common one, the one that we all know, the one that green plants perform. Who can tell us that form of nutrition that green plants perform? Yes, it is photosynthesis. This is the type of organisms make their own food, but this time using sunlight energy. You remember from your primary that photosynthesis is a process by which living organisms, or by which green plants make their own food using sunlight energy. So in primary we knew that it is majorly green plants that make their own food, but from now onwards we can also appreciate that also other organisms like algae, most of you know what the spirogyra is, that filamentous algae in the well, that green algae on the well, that green filaments that you can pull from the waters when you go to fetch water in the well. It is called the green algae, the spirogyra. They also carry out photosynthesis because they have chlorophyll. And then we also have bacteria, some form of bacteria called photosynthetic bacteria, which also carries out photosynthesis. So I want you to accept that green plants carry out photosynthesis, but also other organisms like algae and photosynthetic bacteria. So photosynthesis depends on sunlight. And then we have another form of autotrophic nutrition called chemosynthesis. Now in this particular case, organisms make their own food with the help of energy from specific reactions. For example, reactions, chemical oxidation of hydrogen sulfide or oxidation of ammonia. So during oxidation of these compounds, chemical energy is produced, and these organisms use that chemical energy for making their own food. And these organisms include the chemosynthetic bacteria. So these are the members that carry out chemosynthesis. So we have two forms of autotrophic nutrition. We have photosynthesis and we have chemosynthesis. So members, I want you to remember that in this lesson we have managed to look at the definition of nutrition. We have also defined what nutrients are. At least by now you should be able to know what nutrients are. and then the two modes of nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition and autotrophic nutrition. And then we have also looked at the two modes of autotrophic nutrition, whereby we have looked at photosynthesis and chemosynthesis. So friends, I want to thank you very much for listening to me, and I want you to make a summary of the work that I have just given you so that you master it. We are going to continue from there next time. Please stay at home and stay safe.